You're watching Weekend at Gabe's and I'm Weekend Gabe. This latest episode was brought to you by the good folks over at the Ghetto Flower. Use our code W@G for an exclusive 15% discount when visiting their site. Tell them I sent you. Now enjoy the show. Right now, it's a pleasure to reintroduce and bring back Nola Adé. It's been 6 years spoken with her. She has the new record out, WAYN. I don't know if it's an acronym or if it's just the sound of them, but we'll get into it in just a moment.
Gabe needs to be stopped.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it. I wanted to catch up with you because you're releasing records, which is great. And there's so long in between these songs. And when I spoke to you in 2015, you just put out the Love Dance EP. You were on your way. Like, yo, I'm doing all these shows with Bilal, with all these different artists. And then it's like, if you look at like Spotify, it's kind of like a trickle of singles every year. But you've actually put out 2 songs a month, so I guess that's progress. So, so what's going on? Well, what's up with this new record? Because it definitely incorporates a lot of the Afrobeat themes that you're known for and that you love to produce and sound on. So, what's going on with this song?
Thanks for noticing. Yes, I'm going. That's definitely what it is. So, I guess this is like me pushing more on the Afrobeat like soul side. So really I just want to I call my music Afro soul. So it's going to be a lot of that I come out with, soul tracks, Afrobeat merge thing happening, and that's what this track is about. And the music that I come up in that I put out in the future is going to be that too.
Yeah, for sure.
There, obviously on the record, love is a strong theme and a strong theme throughout your music. You mentioned in another interview that you like to look at it from an optimistic perspective. What does that mean? What is optimistic love?
Love that, I guess optimistic love. That's a good question. What is love that's optimistic? Honestly, it's to me. Love that's optimistic is, you've been through a lot and it's not necessarily been the best, right? You've not had the best experiences, but at the end of the day, like you still have a good outlook on it. Like you're not bitter about it. Like it's not like something that you don't want, that you turn away from. Like, but it's still like I still know that love is out there for me. I know that is what that's the type of those are my vibes anyway that I give off, and that's what I want to receive in future, so that's what that is a bit to me.
Oh, hell yeah.
What is that? How do you write? We've spoken with other artists about like when we're talking about like breakups, but like how do you incorporate like breakup or a relationship that hasn't been fulfilled? How do you incorporate that into music, or is that a tough thing to do?
I think honestly, it's not easy. Okay, like you have to really write and be vulnerable when you're writing when it comes to stuff like that. And not everybody could be vulnerable. To be completely honest, I can't even say that I've been the most vulnerable before like a certain time in my music. Like I feel like now it's just like I'm starting to come out and I'm just like, I don't care anymore. I just want to talk about my story and see what, see if there are other people out there that are just like, going through the same stuff or like feeling the same types of feelings. To be honest, like it's not easy. It's definitely not easy to be able to write and just like just kind of bare your soul on a track you expect people to talk about and give their on.
And interview you about.
So it's like, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like you have to have you have to be in that space where you're just like, I'm just about to put out this art. Like this is me. Like I can't change me at the end of the day.
We had a comedian on not too long ago, Cecilia Gonzalez, and she makes it a point to tell all her failed relationships, like, I'm gonna make a joke about this in a future set. Is that something that you kind of worry about as well? Like you're like, I'm like, you're gonna be part of this.
I might make a song about you after this bad
I mean, everybody that I have been involved with are definitely up for grabs in all of my music when it comes to it is what it is. Like
Right.
That's just who I am.
All the smoke. She's going up the chimney with
Oh
it.
yeah.
Completely fair.
Talking about the community around your music, I mean, it's no secret that Afrobeat has certainly come into the forefront of popular culture. Obviously, Thames showing up on the Drake one, sampled on the Future record, but also, you know, people like Burna Boy, Wizkid, and so many others that are, you know, doing this. And I think, you know, in general, when I look at how people consume music around the globe, the Nigerian fan base is certainly one of the more rabid fan bases on the planet when it comes to music, and certainly Afrobeats. How do you reflect on that? Obviously, you're first generation Nigerian American. How do you reflect on, you know, making music that certainly appeals to Chicago, certainly feels like home, but also feels like home to you in a very different sense?
So, you know, it's okay. So I'm kind of torn here. I'm happy that this is that I get to go this route, because I feel like before I couldn't really do what, you know, just kind of do this route. I feel
why did you feel like you couldn't back then? Let's start there.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I want to produce art that is me, but at the same time, like, I want it to be relatable. I want people to grab hold to the music and, you know, want to jam out with it. So it's like, it's easier now for me to be able to create this music and literally be myself, like literally come out with music that relates to Chicago soul, relates to Chicago house, and relates to Afrobeat. Like, I feel like this is my time. I feel like literally this is who I am, and it's like time for me to start like really just releasing music that is just like me.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful that this has all kind of like opened. The doors have opened, I guess.
Yeah. The cultures are merging, or something like that. Yeah.
Was there ever sort of a moment where you were like, this is like the stars are aligning, this is the time to, like, you know, did something happen, or was there like a magic moment that just, you know, was inside you that you're like, yo, I got to keep moving now, like the momentum and the vibe, everything feels great about like this moment right now?
Honestly, that happened for me during the pandemic. And I was just like, look, I don't know. It was just something, it was a feeling that happened. It was just like, because, you know, before you, as an artist, you get wrapped up in what people say. Like, you get wrapped up in so many opinions, this, that, whatever. So you're trying to do like what I guess is appealing. But at the end of the day, like during the pandemic, I'm like, I am not gonna be afraid anymore. Like, I'm just gonna put out stuff. I'm going to do social media, what I want to do. I'm gonna literally be me. Like, I feel like there was literally a coming out moment during the pandemic. Like, look, I know that this is purpose for me. And it's just like, I feel like all that time for me to kind of be by myself, just like, this is purpose for me. Like, I had a job, I quit it. Like, I was just like, at this point, it's just, let me just go all in, or just quit at this point, because and my I feel like my religion, my everything, it just would not allow me to just continue working and not fulfill and not go after the purpose. So for me, I guess it was during the pandemic. It was just
was during that period, was that when you discovered TikTok?
During that period is where I dabbled in TikTok.
Okay.
After, well, I guess we're kind of still in the pandemic.
We're all still here, you know.
But yeah,
we won the battle.
Right. I started really like TikToking like earlier this year, to be honest.
Have you found that to be like another layer of just, you know, you mentioned being yourself, that sort of thing. It's, not
Yeah.
because your TikToks aren't all necessarily related to music or even promoting your music, but
Mhm.
you're having fun on there. You're letting people know who Nola Adé is.
Yeah. That's exactly. I mean, I have nothing to add on top of that. Yes.
Word.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And where does that exigence, I mean, to keep going come from? I mean, you mentioned that you during the pandemic you had the realization that you wouldn't be happy, feel fulfilled if you didn't go 100%.
Mhm.
But what's driving you? What's the fuel that keeps you going to put this out, to put out
To
hopefully an
put out
album after
music.
this?
Look, what is the driver? Uh, that's a good question. Purpose. I feel like I kind of said it already. It's just like I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like everything else that I've tried to do, my heart's just not in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm good at a lot because I'm kind of a little bit of a perfectionist. Like if I want to do something, like I'll put my mind to it and I'll do it and I'll be good at it. But at the end of the day, like my heart is in this. My passion is in this. So that's why I have to keep going.
Word.
You spoke in another interview about like the pressure of like making a hit single. Are you still like battling that following the trends versus you making the music that you're comfortable and happy with? Is there still a bit of a conflict with there, or are you totally in agreement with whatever, however it happens? If it's a smash hit, not if people listen to it, great. But I'm just like you said, like you were kind of mentioned, like I don't really care anymore. I'm just gonna
To be
do what I do.
honest, to be honest, I don't not to say I don't care anymore. Obviously, like the business of it all, that matters, right? So like my manager cares. The people that are like, oh, put out this music, like they care. Like, oh, we're
Right.
spending money on this music. Oh, they care, definitely. So I mean, I record everything that I want. We'll say that. Like I feel like at this point, I'm just gonna record whatever's on my mind. And if that doesn't get put out, that doesn't get put out. But maybe we could put it out like on an album, where
Yes.
the stuff that we're trying to push is like upfront, like as singles, and then the album has kind of like bits and pieces of other things that are different that I don't
Sure.
necessarily that they don't necessarily they think that they don't believe that are in the trend, the trending stuff. But
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see.
No,
We'll see.
no,
But
I
I
hear you.
literally always, I'm at this point, the wisest advice that I've been given, just record everything and just see what happens. It's
Right.
like, I'll
Um,
just do that.
and to that effect, you mentioned another interview that you do record melodies on your phone, like in the
I
voice
do.
notes. Is that like, you're at brunch and just the mood strikes you and you got to be off in the corner with it? What is your songwriting process from when that snippet gets recorded to a full finished product?
Well, just you literally said it. Like I am somewhere random. People will look at me like, "Why do you have your phone out?" I am in church listening to what's happening. I will pull out my phone out and be like, "Oh, I need to capture this melody real quick," but then I'll put it away real quick. Like, yeah, I do that anywhere. From then on, I kind of do two different things. Sometimes there is a producer that sends me something that literally goes perfect with one of my melodies, and I'm like, ooh, this sounds like this thing that I came up with. Or on the other hand, there's another thing that I've done too, just like I get a producer and I'm like, hey, help me build around this. This is what I'm thinking. Like, let's build this is what I hear. Like, let's kind of build onto this. And that's something that I've been doing too lately. So it
Mm.
Yeah.
depends. And then I record it and then it goes through the mix mastering and stuff like that. And then
The
it's
mix, the
done.
masters, and the manager.
Yeah. And then
this this has hit potential.
yeah. Yes.
Uh, you're performing over at the Bantu Fest in Chicago's Hyde Park, July
Yes.
23rd next month. You performed for the Museum of Contemporary Art last year. What is the difference between performing for a group of people that you can't see versus that you can see for hundreds of yards away?
There aren't people that yell back at you. And that's what I love. I love the energy of the crowd. Like, I love that because I feed off of the crowd's energy as well. So just doing that at home is not the same. It's not the same. But it still pays some bills. So I'm happy.
Check clear. Yes.
Yes.
I love that.
There you go. All right. Well, we're nearing the end, so we want to get to some fun questions. Sam has a bunch of them for you.
Yeah. Well, let's get into a debate that was started on this show a few months back when we had Solo Sam on. Solo Sam of Ghanaian descent, and swears by the Ghanaian Jollof over the Nigerian Jollof. I can tell already by your face that you have some thoughts here. So explain to two dudes who have probably never had jollof in their lives what the difference between those two dishes is and why the Nigerian joint is superior.
This has been an ongoing debate for years, right? No one will win. To me, I think that the Nigerian jollof is always going to be the best. That's just what I grew up on. That's what tastes the best, just to me. I guess the difference is I think they use a different type of rice. I'm actually not all the way sure. Don't quote me on the Ghana jollof. I think they use a basmati rice, but I'm not sure. I don't know. But the Nigerian jollof, they use just rice, white rice. Actually, my mom kind of makes it with brown rice too, to kind of be on the healthy side. But usually they make it with white rice, and then it's just so delicious. And they put all the spices in it, the tomatoes and the peppers and everything, and it's just cook it all together, and it's just delicious. Like, especially the party jollof, where it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, it's delicious. Like, I don't get to eat it often because I have to watch my figure, but when I do eat it, I make sure, Nigerian jollof all the way.
I hear you.
Nigerian jollof all the way.
All right. That's giving me some clarity on the thing. I gotta try both. I gotta try both. Solo Sam.
You have to, you just have to taste it. You have to taste.
We're gonna have to have dueling, like a duel of the fates sort of thing going on here.
Nigerian jollof too. You should taste it without knowing which is which.
Right, blind taste test. That's the key.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna get on that for you. Let me get on that. Another thing that you were posting a lot about on your Instagram today are these theoretical verses. I saw Michael Jackson versus Prince, a few other ones. I believe Madonna was in one of them. And it sprung to mind a question. What is the elite verses? Anybody dead or alive that you could put in a room and you could just watch? That's the first question. Then I got to follow up.
Okay. I really think that a versus between MJ and Prince, that was the first one that I chose. I think that would be like really, really good. Really
who's
hard.
Coming out on top in that one?
I don't know. I can't even tell you. Like, I feel like I could not tell you. I grew up with MJ's music, but when I went back, and not to say I just didn't know all of Prince's music, but when I went back and listened to Prince's things and just really learned the stories around like the things that he wrote, and it's just so much artistry. It's so much like ingenuity. Like it's just amazing. Like I'm in awe with the both of them. Like they're too different to me. Okay. So I wouldn't know who would win.
Okay, my money's on MJ. I just gotta say, for the people out there, my money's on MJ.
Huge fact.
Okay, so the last fun question of the night before we get out of here. You, Nola Adé, if you had to beat somebody in a versus, anybody, who would you choose as your competition? Now, this could be, you could choose somebody on a low tier and it's like easy competition, like I would eat their ass up. Or you could choose somebody like it would be real close, 50-50, maybe a coin toss.
Oh, so are you talking about like anybody, like local to mainstream,
local to anybody?
like,
yeah.
Oh, you trying to start something? I don't know. Let me think.
I mean, definitely don't start no beef, but
let me think. That's a hard one. I need some time to think about that one. I don't know. Let me think.
The default answer could just be the Nigerian versus the Ghanaian Jollof. It could just that could be the whole versus.
The Nigerian Jollof would definitely win, so I would definitely take that challenge just because I know.
Are you cooking for that challenge?
I might cook.
Okay.
For it. I know a little thing or two in the kitchen.
I want the invite if that happens. By
the way. I love it. You're always invited.
Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. No, thank you so much for joining us here on Weekend at Gabe's. You can catch her on July 23rd over in Chicago's Hyde Park, part of the Bantu Fest. So go get your tickets. They're already out there, and they're pretty reasonable too. So you can bring out the whole family for less than a tank of gas. So thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to hearing from you. Please let us know when the album is coming out. We need an album. We need an EP. The game has been waiting for far too long. Tell your business manager, Gabe said that we need this.
I'm dropping another song though on June 20th. So it hasn't been announced yet. So first heard here.
Oh, breaking. Let's go.
Weekend at Gabe's exclusive. We love a Weekend at Gabe's exclusive. Wow.
I love it. But yeah,
awesome.
June 20th.
All right, make sure we get that in our inbox or some sort of notification.
Definitely. I'll remind myself to send it.
I appreciate it. All right, Nola, thank you so much for giving us your time. We look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you. Look forward to talking and seeing you too.
All right, Nola Adé here tonight on Weekend at Gabe's. Oh, that was so fun, man. I really want to get out there on July 23rd in the Hyde Park because
it's a couple days before my birthday. It might be a cool little venture, a Gabe and Sam adventure. We don't often do a crossover episode,
We never do. No. Listen, I missed your birthday last year, so either we're gonna do turtle racing.
No, you know what, Gabe? I remember that. I keep that up here for a rainy day when you really piss me off. You know what, Gabe? I'm not coming to your birthday.
I did buy you a Pimp C bug, so I did make up to it, I think.
That was a win. Yeah, that was definitely a win.
Thank you for watching the latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's on YouTube, brought to you by the Ghetto Flower. Make sure to also click on the links in the description for more information to our guests and access to exclusive new music from the Ghetto Flower and so much more. Make sure to also like and subscribe to the show and also continue to share, support, and show love by clicking on any of the links surrounding my head. Thanks for watching.